Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Late last night, we ended up getting a surprise update in Black Ops 7 and Warzone. Not very often that we see like Friday evening updates, but we've actually had a few randomly dropped so far this year, and this update does include a handful of new patch notes, some new gameplay fixes, some changes as well. It also previews an update that we've been asking for quite some time, that we first got word of a few weeks back when Call of Duty previewed their major anti-cheat updates that were planned for season 2. So we do have our February 20th update patch notes for our global updates here, and they start off with a pretty important section here regarding the Ricochet Anti-Cheat. Of course, over the past few weeks, we've seen their new like cloud-based attestation stuff they're doing with Microsoft Azure. They rolled it out originally in multiplayer ranked play. Now they've brought it over to Warzone ranked. Seems like it's had mixed results. Some people saying they're seeing very minimal cheaters. Some people saying they don't really notice a huge difference. Per usual with the anti-cheat updates, it seems. But this one is also going to be a pretty important update. They say a new update is coming for Ricochet Anti-Cheat. Next week, some players may see an in-game message if Ricochet Anti-Cheat flags activity that may indicate use of a third-party input device. This message is a reminder of our security and enforcement policy and does not mean enforcement has been taken on an account. Unauthorized devices that modify gameplay to cheat or gain an unfair advantage can result in account enforcement. So what they are referencing here is further detection on Cronus's and Zims, things of that nature. You may recall a few weeks back when they previewed the season 2 anti-cheat update, they for the first time took direct aim at these third-party devices. Way long ago, they had talked about using third-party detection as a feature in the anti-cheat, and for like a few days there were warning messages. This was like years ago. There were warning messages popping up of like, hey, we've detected weird like third-party use hardware on your account, and it was seemingly more performative than actually preventative or anything. Like nothing really ever came of that. Then we just went, you know, the past little while without any kind of detection for Cronus or Zim or anything like that. But now they are going much further in on attacking these pieces of hardware. Basically, they called them out directly, saying these are cheating tools outright. They have zero place in Call of Duty gameplay in their blog from a few weeks back, and now it seems like they are starting to enforce this. Starting next week, we're going to start seeing this more and more. So if you're someone who's using a Cronus or a Zim, you might see this pop up, and it's going to seemingly be a warning at first saying, hey, we've detected this third-party hardware on your account, like this is suspicious use. Make sure you're not doing it any further, and if you continue to do it, then at that point your account could get banned. But it seems like they're starting off with warnings first, which is an interesting step, but a step nonetheless. So they are finally taking this to the next level. At least we've been asking for this alongside, you know, more strict, more harsh enforcement of the anti-cheat when trying to combat walls and aim hacks and things like that. But Cronus and Zim and other tools like that are also equally annoying to run into, and they're all classified as cheating. So any kind of prevention or you know, enforcement against that stuff ultimately objectively is going to be a good thing. And starting next week, they are finally turning up the heat a little bit here and enforcing this a little bit further, starting first with, like I said, these warning messages, ultimately then moving into actual account you know, suspension and bans there. They also updated the UI here, added a check mark to weekly challenges to show when a week has been completed, so you'll know that for sure. Now got a new challenge update here. They addressed an issue that prevented the 100%er custom title from being awarded if Warzone was the final mastery completed there. Multiplayer for Black Ops 7 also gets a couple of specific updates with this one, with modes and private match. They enabled missing CDL settings for search and destroy, hard points, and overload, so you just weren't able to fully customize those modes if you were under the CDL rule set. Kind of a strange one there. With equipment on the needle drone, they addressed an issue that could cause the camera to snap after using the manual mode once. Few challenge updates here, address an issue where the Raptor camo for the ARC M1 would still progress when the player took damage, and then also an issue that prevented the escalation directive multiplayer challenges from tracking in ranked play, so you just weren't earning any progress for those if you were using those guns in ranked for all those camos and everything. They also, surprise, added in various stability fixes. Like always. Now, we don't know what's more stable, but something is, we can surely count on that. Ranked play also has some new updates here. In a hardpoint, health regen was adjusted to align with the CDL competitive settings. Doors are now open by default, and overload doors are now open by default. In SND, health regen has been adjusted to align with the CDL settings, and doors are open by default. So health regen wasn't actually the same in ranked play, which was kind of insane to learn about, but nonetheless, that's been updated there. With UI, they adjusted the text when a match is canceled to appropriately reflect the reason instead of displaying a draw. They also added the match XP bonus value to the victory and defeat screens there, so you just have further clarification on how much XP you're getting for any given match. Zombies also gets one single update here. Crazy stuff. They addressed an issue that prevented the Doomsteel camo from tracking properly for Season 2 weapons, except, well, they only kind of updated this, seemingly. So originally, the Treyarch community manager account quote tweeted these patch notes and said, "We previously shared that Doomsteel was fixed for Season 2 weapons back on the 13th with those updates that we covered, but you let us know that it wasn't. It should be fixed now. Let us know if it isn't." And this tweet got quite a few replies saying, yeah, it unlocked on this gun, but not this new Season 2 gun. Or I got mine unlocked, but then the next person didn't get theirs unlocked. So they then had to quote their quote tweet and said, "We've updated the team with the responses in this thread. Thank you. This was not fixed fully yet again." For some players, you might be able to have Doomsteel on your new weapons. For others, if you're unlucky here, if something's still bugged for you or on a specific gun, like it might not work on the SG-12, but it works on the EGERT or vice versa. It's weird. It's just not fully functioning still, even after this has now seen 2 updates go out to try and address it. Hopefully third time's the charm. We'll see maybe next week. We also got a couple of Endgame updates here as well, though. They addressed an issue where the zero waste exotic attachment would apply to everyone in the lobby. They also addressed an issue where reloading in third person with the shocking reload skill could cause a bright flash. Then in challenges, they addressed an issue that prevented the week 1 challenge of destroy 5 guild VTOLs with a launcher from actually tracking. So that'll now work as intended if you're still working on those week 1 challenges. And then just after those patch notes ended up dropping last night, we also got another new post from COD Updates here saying they are now investigating reports that the Get 300 Eliminations with Exotic Weapons weekly challenge that started with Season 3 is not currently progressing with the Season 2 guns in Endgame. So if you're trying to use any Season 2 exotics, you're not going to get any progress, any tracking done for this challenge for the week 3 challenges. So definitely be mindful of that as you're going through and completing those. But yeah, a handful of new updates, some surprise changes, and definitely a surprise announcement for enforcing the anti-cheat a little bit further and finally going in and trying to combat the Cronus and the Zim cheating issues going on in game. A little bit less talk about it now and more actual action starting next week, hopefully. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found the information helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you are always in the know for absolutely everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, there's no better place to stay up to date with all of that than right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.